quality corporate training meets powerful AI. Docebo is the world's first generative AI learning platform. You can customize the learning experience and create content in seconds. Learn more at docebo.com.
It's the year of our Lord, 1524. A flamboyant figure sets foot on uncharted soil. They call him the Child of the Sun for the red color of his hair, a shocking sight for the natives of this strip of land between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. The man comes from Extremadura, in Spain, and he's of noble birth, a colonizer and leader of an army. Just a few years ago, he took part in the conquest of Cuba, and from there, he moved to the Yucatan Peninsula. He imprisoned Montezuma, the emperor of the Aztecs, and massacred the local people. As a reward, he'll be nominated governor and general captain of Guatemala by Charles V of Spain. This man is Pedro de Alvarado y Contreras. The land he has just set foot on will be named El Salvador and earn its independence from Spain 3 centuries later, in 1821. Today, El Salvador is a republic with over 6.5 million residents. It's the smallest state in Central America, but also the most densely populated. In 2021, it became the first state in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, alongside the American dollar. A decision made by yet another colorful character. His name is Nayib Bukele, and he's been the president of El Salvador from June 2019. His first mandate ended in 2023. In theory, the Constitution precludes him from a consecutive mandate, but he sidestepped that hurdle with the election of a temporary president who lasted just a couple of months. And so, on the 4th of February 2024, Bukele returned to his command station with a whopping 84.7% majority. A lively man who loves social media and seems to be adored by his people. I am Guido Brera, and you're listening to Black Box, The Hidden Side of Finance, a podcast by Cora Media, sponsored by Docebo. Nayib Bukele was born on July 24, 1981 in San Salvador, the state capital. His father was a Palestinian-born businessman who had financed the first mosque in San Salvador. His mother, a Christian, now travels all across the country, often by her son's side, promoting solidarity and support on women's issues. When Nayib Bukele was born, El Salvador was suffering under a bloody civil war. A revolutionary left-wing front was rebelling against the conservative military junta supported by Ronald Reagan and the USA. The conflict went on for 12 years of failed mediation attempts, international interference, and at least 8,000 desaparecidos. Nayib Bukele was 10 years old when the civil war finally ended, on the 16th January 1992. 20 years later, in 2012, he settles in his new office as mayor of Nuevo Cuscatlán, a small town of about 7,000 people, close to San Salvador. Bukele is elected from the National Liberation Front, an ex-guerrilla rebel group later normalized as a center-left political party. At that time, the only experience he's ever had was as manager for an exclusive nightclub and a Yamaha motorcycle dealership. But later, in 2015, Bukele makes the great leap. He becomes mayor of the capital itself, San Salvador. He has charm, he has style, he's tremendously ambitious and has no patience at all. He wants to become president of the republic. But the National Liberation Front puts him back in his place. He's too young. So he just decides to leave the party and to create one of his own, Nuevas Ideas. and he runs for election in 2019. He collaborates with the left and then the right, and he goes all out in his campaign. It works swimmingly. He wins with a 53% majority.
Nayib Armando Bukele Cortés, electo por el pueblo salvadoreño.
There's a picture of Nayib Bukele online in his San Salvadorian mayoral office. Wearing a leather jacket and mirror shades, his beard is trimmed and his hair is slick. He has national flags on the wall and his feet up on the wooden desk. It's a picture that undeniably represents his strong character, as reported by ex-colleagues and co-workers. But it's also a testament to the approach that Bukele has adopted to solve the issues afflicting his small Central American nation. Primarily the drug gangs, who spread terror for decades, practically unhindered. To fight them, Bukele declared a state of emergency, and so far he's extended it about 22 times. In doing so, he's attracted the criticism of organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, as well as the United Nations themselves. He's extended the army's clutch over the entire country, but you can't argue with results. In just his first year of presidency, murders went down by 50%. Although some suspect that it may be due to an underground agreement with the powerful criminal organization MS-13. But something went wrong in March 2022. In just one weekend, over 80 people were killed by those same gangs that seemed to be under control. The government reacted swiftly and decisively, with over 75,000 immediate arrests of people suspected of criminal affiliation. Today, Bukele lives in Las Sueñas, in a fortress-like villa defended by the army, on a hill overlooking Nuevo Cuscatlán, the town where he was mayor and where his career took off. It's just a 2-hour flight from San Salvador to Miami. This is where the third Bitcoin conference took place in 2021. Nayib Bukele appeared on the screen of the Congress room, with his usual beard and slick hair. In the video message, he announced the decision to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender in his country. The first country ever to attempt so. A new battle, with the usual strong-willed and lively methods. This time the enemy is the rabid rise of inflation following the global pandemic. The strategy is simple, at least apparently. El Salvador will buy 1 Bitcoin every day, as long as they can do so, using fiat money. It's a sort of gradual replacement, which has been immediately put into action. There's even a website, linked to the Ministry of the Treasury, where all citizens can check the advancement of the operation and supposedly the investment. Today is May 29, 2024, and the state of El Salvador owns 5,764 Bitcoins, about $390 million. Tomorrow it will be 5,765 Bitcoins, the day after 5,766, and so on. And that's not all. El Salvador is slowly turning into a paradise for Bitcoin mining. Full-fledged farms are already up and running, churning out digital currency and powered by geothermal energy, which is a large resource in this small nation with 20 active volcanoes. In the capital and elsewhere, ATMs have started to pop up allowing the exchange of local currency and Bitcoin. Lots of stores are starting to trade in crypto, and almost everyone in the country is getting used to using it. Last but not least, a strong tourism industry linked specifically to Bitcoin is starting to take shape and is growing even more than the traditional surfing tourism. Nayib Bukele, philosopher king. This is what his X profile reads. On the social network previously known as Twitter, he'll post pictures of the Salvadorian army, of his wife and children, of criminals being carried away in handcuffs. He often reposts the tweets of Silicon Valley luminaries. And then, occasionally he'll upload a graph with a line showing each single step reaching for greatness. Another day, another Bitcoin. Black Box is a Cora News podcast produced by Cora Media. Written by Guido Brera with I Diavoli. Editorial supervision by Francesca Milano. Intro and sound design by Luca Micheli. Editing and post-production by Luca Micheli and Emanuele Moscatelli. Production organization by Alex Peverende.